Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D. Brief. This is the D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's
arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the Debrief for the week of October 15th, 2018. I'm your co-host. My name is Seth Ressler.
I'm Becky Scarcello.
And on today's show, we have one of our favorites back again, Delisi of WDET.
She's always great.
Nobody knows more about music than that woman.
Nobody I know.
You actually ran into her over the weekend, too,
Yeah,
didn't you?
we ate pizza. Not exactly together because she was a judge, but I was a participant.
Wait, she was a pizza judge?
She was.
How do you get that role?
You know, because she's famous. And yeah, she likes food and music and chefs. So, yeah.
So we'll find out all about that, and we'll talk to her about the big MC50 tour that's coming up with MC5, celebrating the anniversary. And on Thursday's episode, we have a very special guest, Chef Brandon Zarb.
Speaking of food, yes, another chef. I'm excited.
He's now at the Rising Stars Academy. He was over at Imperial and
Public House in Ferndale. Yeah, they're doing amazing stuff there. And it's going to be a great conversation.
So we'll do all that. Plus, we've got all your Detroit concerts, comedy, plays, food, drink, and more. Stick around.
This is the D.
Detroit.
This is the D
Brief.
All right, Becky, we started inviting a guest host onto every show with us.
Yeah, new fresh face every week.
Well, we've got a guy who I know from going out and doing stand-up comedy. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have.
Okay.
I've been doing it for about 18 months. He's been doing it for more than 3 decades.
Wow.
From the Detroit area. And what's very exciting, he not only has done very well in his comedy career, he won the Las Vegas Comedy Festival, the New York Comedy Expo, the Gilda's Laugh Fest Clean Comedy Showcase, been on Fox, NBC, ABC, but he's got a brand new stand-up comedy club.
Now he's got his own club.
Yeah,
I
in
love
Waterford. I want to welcome Mike Green.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show.
I have to say what's super impressive is that you won a clean comedy. And it's tough to do clean comedy, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was it. And I'll tell you what, the 3 comedians that were in that contest were like funnier than me. Literally funnier than me.
Okay.
But what happened was the way they ran the contest was I don't know if you know Mike Armstrong or Ralph Harris, very funny guys. Joe DeVito, they were all in this contest. But what happened was every night we would go, there was 2 venues where we would perform against each other. Well, every night we would draw a room, and for whatever reason, I kept drawing the opposite room of those guys.
Oh.
So they were in there killing, all having great sets, splitting the votes, and I was in the other room killing, winning.
Wow.
It was just absolute happenstance, and those were very funny guys, and it was lucky. It was lucky that I won that.
Wow.
But
and some talent, I'm sure, too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I just don't cuss, that's all. I do adult humor. I don't
That's
cuss.
all right.
Oh, okay.
We're the same way on the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
cuss on the podcast.
No,
so it
we
all
don't.
works out.
I do a
keep it
lot of innuendos. A lot of them.
See, those actually can be a lot funnier.
Right.
So I get it. Yeah.
So let's talk about the new club. Congratulations, by the way. This has been
Yeah.
open just a few weeks now.
Thank you. Yeah, this is our 3rd weekend coming up, and
Okay.
and we started. Yeah,
You're headlining, by the way.
I am headlining because I'm the cheapest guy that we've booked because I'm doing it for free.
Wow.
But yeah, it's exciting but nerve-wracking, and we got to get butts in the seats, and that's the hard part. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. It's making comedy fun for me again.
Oh, that's sweet. And I think it just probably is a process of, the more people that come through, then they tell their friends. I'm sure it takes a little bit for the word to get out, just like a restaurant
It
or any
does,
new
yeah.
business. So
This has got to be a different skill set, though. I mean,
Oh, is it ever?
because this is running a business, and
Yeah.
comedy is much more creative when you're
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
both sides of the brain are firing up
That's
here.
the thing. We had a heckler that got out of control on Saturday night. It's the second show Saturday, a little bit too chatty. So I said, could you keep it down a little? Well, after the show, they went crazy and started telling me, "Oh, I hate this. I'm telling everybody," and all that stuff. And I was
boy.
and I said, "Okay, have fun driving back to the trailer park." And the owner, Stan, was like, "Mike, you gotta, you're the manager now. You're not the comedian.
It's not the zippy comebacks. It's not your job anymore.
He was like, "You got to separate the two. You got to offer them passes and say, hey, please come back. We'd love to have you."
Wow.
But in my head, I was like, "Get the hell out. Never come back."
Right.
So talk about how you came up with the concept and and how you built this. And
Okay, so a year ago, Stan Moore, who owns this gigantic plumbing business in Waterford, decided he was going to build a comedy club in a building that he owned. So he got a hold of Mark Ridley and said, "Who would you recommend as a manager?" And Mark Ridley recommended me. So
wow.
I met with this guy, and I'd known Stan since like the late '80s. He used to come to Mark's club. He was a big fan of comedy. He's always been a big fan of comedy, and so we met probably in 1989 at the old Spaghetti Factory one that was on Woodward, the old comedy castle, and we got together and started talking about my favorite qualities that I look for in a comedy club, and we did them all. We put a low ceiling so you feel like you're close to each other. All the seats are shoulder to shoulder, and the sound's awesome. The lighting, I'm not happy with yet, but we're gonna keep adjusting that. But other than that, I mean, this place has 2 bars, a cool place to hang out after. It's we got TVs and a giant screen, and it's really fun, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't wait to go check it out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intriguing.
Can we talk about some of the comedians you have coming up? Because a number of them are actually from the Michigan area.
Sure, and the great thing, like, I even had somebody at the Comedy Castle say, "How the hell did you get so-and-so?" And the
Wow.
truth is, I have some people that are just, like, Mitch Fatel I have coming in. He's done 20 Tonight shows, but he stood up at my wedding. So he's a friend of mine. He's a guy I've known forever.
Yeah.
And Rocky Laporte, who is a tough get as well. He's kind of pricey, but as a favor, one time he's coming through for me.
Yeah.
And
what makes them a tough get? I mean, is it hard to get them to come to Michigan, for example?
No. He was one of the finalists on Last Comic Standing. So
Yeah.
right now he's pretty highly
busy,
sought after.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. So, but I got him as a favor to me. He's coming through, and Dave Landau, who's another guy that was on America's.
That guy's
Last
funny.
Comic
I've
Standing.
seen him the last 2 Valentine's Days at Mark
Oh,
Ridley's
yeah,
Comedy.
he's
right,
a funny,
yeah.
funny guy. Yeah.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's a riot.
So-
And a lot of friends. I mean, people I've known for 30 some years are coming through.
That's got to be fun for you then.
It
too.
is. I get to see him. Yeah.
Now, as you're routing this stuff, I mean, I used to have to book shows when I worked in radio with bands coming through, and they kind of had to all go. Like, I mean, I was in Providence, and you had to get them either right after they were coming from Boston or right after they were coming
Sure.
from New York City.
Yeah.
Is it work like that with comedy, or is it much easier to do a
Comedy
one-off
used to work
date?
that way.
Yeah.
Comedy used to work where you would get routed, but not anymore. Now it's just you go to a town for a weekend and then you go home, and then you go to another town for another weekend.
Because you can fly, and there's not like you've got
Yeah.
guitars in the back that you got to bring with you.
Not like
you're
Drum
on
kit,
tour.
right?
Yeah.
And another thing that I say to the comedians when they start like if we start coming down to money, if we're having difficulties with money, I always go, "Look, I know you sit home 2 weeks a month. I was a comedian for 32 years. Don't pull that crap on me." But that's just with one guy. I had to say that.
So, what's the biggest challenge?
So far, it's, I guess, getting audiences in. We have a phenomenal facility. My schedule that I booked is insane. Like, I have these great, really super talented, funny guys. I just got to get the audiences in to figure it out, see what a great
But you said
venue
you've
it is.
been getting good response from the audience that has
Oh,
been
yeah.
coming. Yeah. they love it.
Everybody has loved every show. Like, every show has been really, really good so far.
All right, so if people want to check it out, it's onenightstandscomedyclub.com is
Right.
the website.
It's STANS because the owner's name is
Right.
Stan.
No D.
Right.
No D.
No D.
Right. It's
Yeah,
not
'cause
Stand.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
people maybe mishear it, but it's One Night Stands Comedy Club.
Yep, I'll tell you this.
.com.
Because we're called the debrief. So
Right.
I understand
We get-
the whole.
yes.
Right.
Yes, go register the URL for Stands with a D and have it redirect.
That's a genius idea,
Yes.
dude. Why not? I wonder if
Yes.
it's available. I'll have to see if it's available.
Every misspelling of the debrief.
That's a great idea, dude.
Gotta do
And
it.
it probably costs,
Nothing.
$10
Oh.
a year
$10 a
or
year,
something.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
$10 a year. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we're glad you're going to hang out and join us for the show.
All right.
Just chill. We have fun here. So,
good.
Coming up in just a few minutes, you got some jewelry from Graffiti
Yes,
right here
got a
in
new piece.
Detroit, and we'll find out about it. That's coming up in just a few.
The Debrief, your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
All right, Becky, what's going on around town?
So much stuff. So midterm elections coming up. Okay, I think.
Really? I hadn't heard.
I read. Right. I would say
That's news to me.
In the past, it's been rather boring and uneventful, but this year, obviously,
Turnout's going to be through the roof.
Well, we're hoping so.
Yeah.
So, but did you know in the last midterm election, only 12% of young people voted?
No, I didn't know that.
Super low.
I believe that. I mean, I keep hearing about.
And what is
Yeah.
a young person? 18 to 24?
Not us.
Yeah,
not us.
Under 30. Yeah.
Under 30?
Yeah. So as part of you say, the whole push and get more people out, there's this crazy event. So the NRDC, Funny or Die, Billy Eichner and Wanda Sykes are coming to town. So they're charged with glamming up the midterm elections, making them seem sexier.
Why didn't they
fun.
get young people? I'm sorry, I don't mean to point it out like that. Why did they get Wanda Sykes and Billy Eichner?
You know what? I thought the same thing.
It's kind of a thing because Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, made
doing
that
these
speech at
kind
the American Music Awards, and
Right.
all of a sudden registration went through the roof because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so why didn't they? I guess my point is, why didn't they get somebody young?
So we'll see how it works. But so they'll be in Detroit this Sunday. It's going to be a live comedy event. You can't buy tickets, though. So the catch is you got to register to vote. Or if you're already registered, go in and sign up for email reminders for
Yep.
voting. And then you're put in the pool to win a ticket.
Right.
So it's going to be at an undisclosed Midtown location that you only find out if you get a ticket. So
I'm advertising my location at every chance I get, and I have a hard time getting audiences in. This
I think this is
pop-up
a-
comedy, I don't think it's a good idea.
it's a grand experiment. So if you want to get involved, headcount.org is the place to look that up.
Nice.
Yeah, and if you can't find the place, Billy Eichner will track you down and chase you.
I think he will. Yes.
Chase you down the street.
Yes, accost you.
I'm Billy on the street.
So there's a House of Mirrors in town. It's in an empty bank building in downtown Detroit. So if anybody out there remembers the old Silver store in the State Savings Bank, it's Fort and Shelby, basically.
Are you a native Detroiter?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm fairly
So
recent
Seth
here,
would know this place,
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah, down the street from the Caucus Club. It's a
Oh, yeah.
beautiful building, but it's empty for years. So Library Street Collective, a gallery in town, put together, matched up an artist, Doug Atkin, to create this Mirage Detroit, it's called. So it's a full-size suburban home covered with mirrors put inside the bank building. So it's
crazy.
this immersive art experience with sound and light.
That's awesome.
The lighting.
I think I want to see
I
it.
totally do.
I
You
don't
gotta
know
go,
why.
and it's free to go in.
As long as it's the mirrors that make me look taller and thinner.
I think there'll be some of everything. So all kinds of different mirrors. You can find the most flattering to take your
Yeah,
selfie.
shorter and squatter. I don't need. I got enough of that going on.
And it's free to go in, and it's going to be up through February.
I picture me and my wife dancing through it, doing a Grease reboot.
Right? Yeah. So the lighting, you were talking about lighting earlier, was done by Andy Watson, who's known for working with Radiohead. And he also did the interior lighting in Deluxe Flux.
I got to get a hold of that
we'll
guy.
We'll get your number.
I need his number.
He was apparently in town, so yeah.
Nice.
So check that out. So this weekend there's a celebration of autumn. So everybody's talking about Halloween, but what if you just want to celebrate fall? It's a free festival called Orange, Gold, and Green. Sidewalk Detroit's putting it on at Eliza Howell Park in Detroit. So there's going to be nature and arts and crafts workshops, dance and music performances, and horseback riding in the park, a bonfire, and some pretty awesome music. So one of the performers is the McKinney's Own Trio. That's Galen McKinney, who's an amazing drummer. She's traveled all over. Amazing. And Ralph Armstrong is with her. He played bass for Aretha Franklin, among many others. Gerard Gibbs on piano in that trio. So everything's including some free food is free. So everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Theater Bazaar. Want you to.
You know what this is? Do you know? Are you?
What Theater Bazaar?
Theater Bazaar? No. What is it?
Okay, so he's got to listen to our interview.
Yeah, we interviewed him a couple of episodes ago.
John Dunviant,
and,
the artist that creates this. It's crazy. I've been before. It was last weekend, and it's this weekend coming up. That's it. So it's
Okay.
your last chance. You got to go grab some tickets. There's a few out there.
Yeah, you won't make it because you're going to be on stage.
I could go during the day. It's got to be a day thing too, right? No, it's just
No,
night.
no.
It's a nighttime party. Okay, well, next
year.
But our October 2nd episode, if you want to go look that up on our app or iTunes.
I will.
It's a really fascinating. I have been before, but I learned so much just with your conversation
It's
with
this
John.
giant masquerade party that
That's
they
so
take
neat.
over the Masonic Temple, and it's
It's a carnival. It's an Eyes Wide Shut experience. It's like sexy and creepy.
right?
Sexy.
It's all like based on like penny arcade games, like brought to huge scale. There's thousands of pumpkins and candy spilling out everywhere, and taxidermy and like costume.
Taxidermy and candy?
Yes.
Yes,
It's
costume. There's so many people involved in it, so it's like it's all around you, like people with head to toe body paint, like looking like red devils, and fire throwers.
I'm trying to think of that show my wife watches all the time with Lady Gaga.
Oh, American Horror
Story.
Yeah, that's, is it like that? Does it feel like that?
Bits
Because that
of
show,
it,
that's
yeah,
how it
bits
feels.
of
Like the
it.
hotel season, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the people watching's insane because everybody dresses up. It's
Sure.
required.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Speaking of Halloween, how about the kids? Okay, because they can't go to Theater
Right.
Bazaar.
No.
Halloween in the D activities. So this is a fairly new initiative with the city of Detroit to kind of take back the city for kids for Halloween. So there's all kinds of things going on Halloween week, including actual Halloween night. I know something that's always a concern is, where do you take kids trick-or-treating that's
Sure.
safe? What kind of activities? So there's going to be rec centers, fire stations, police stations involved. The Rouge, Chandler, and Clark parks are all going to be transformed into haunted parks,
Oh.
family-friendly haunted parks.
nice.
Not too scary.
Right.
And DDOT will have a haunted bus that you can ride on. And there's going to be trunk or treating at police stations. Have
that's
you
good.
guys seen
Yeah.
that where people
Oh,
open
yeah.
up the trunks of their cars?
Yeah. Our schools all do it.
Yeah.
Let me ask, before I moved to Detroit, one of the few things I knew about Detroit was I had heard about Devil's Night.
Right.
The fires,
And
yeah.
is this an effort to combat that?
It's partly that, although there's been efforts the past years for
Yeah,
sure.
that's done. We haven't had that.
we haven't
Okay.
really experienced that. And that's all like community organizing too. So part of this thing every year is there's like community meals to recruit new volunteers to do like radio patrol. And now when I call it Angels Night, right?
Okay.
So police precincts are accepting candy donations, and again, they're looking for volunteers to do the trunk or treating. So all the info is online, HalloweenInTheD.org.
Awesome.
Another spooky event is former 98.7 AMP radio morning host Rat and Puff.
Yeah.
So legendary. They're not on the air anymore, but they're doing their third annual terror tour. So this is where they pick haunted attractions, invite people to them, and kind of, help put on these events. So you can win tickets at their social media pages, The Rat and Puff Show. The first stop was last weekend. It was at Hush in Westland. This week, they'll be at the Scream Machine in Taylor. And week 3 will be at the Rotten Manor in Holly.
Do you do haunted houses?
No, yeah, I do. I like getting scared.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
I believe in that stuff. My wife and my daughter do it more than me. Like they went to Louisiana to get like tours through the graveyards and stuff like that.
The
Like, they do all
cemeteries.
that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
New Orleans is one of the most haunted cities, so they say.
I had a scare. One time I was riding horses when I was like 14 with my girlfriend, my high school girlfriend at the time, and we were riding and we were talking about dying and death, and then I was like, I wonder if there's anybody in this cemetery with my name or anything like that. And my horse reared up and barnstormed down this path and stopped at the end of the path. I remember seeing smoke coming out of nostrils, and I looked down and the gravestone said Michael Allen Green, which is my exact name. I
That's
swear on my life.
creepy.
That's a true story.
When you
That's
were
a true
14.
story. I was 14 years old. True story.
Oh my God.
I got goosebumps. It was.
yeah.
I still think of it.
That is so crazy because I have a rubbing of a gravestone with my exact name on it, but I knew to go to it. It was like original settler.
Oh, you looked it up or something?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
my family's very into genealogy, so
Yeah.
it was in Pennsylvania. Like we knew William and Rebecca were there,
Yeah.
So and even that was crazy, and I went to go see
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I know. That was goofy.
Speaking of
The horse
running,
knew.
if you just want to run for fun, the Free Press Marathon is this Sunday. So
All right.
pretend a ghost is chasing you. You run fast.
Coming up in just a bit, there is a new documentary about Detroit hip hop, and we'll tell you all about it.
Keep up with us. Download our mobile app.
The D. Breathe.
All right, Becky, Mike, let's take a moment to let's just give a shout out to anybody that
Great stuff around town, or
cool stuff that happened. What about you? Let's start with you, Becky.
Oh, yeah. The coolest thing last week was I went to visit Rebel Nell, the jewelry company, where they make the jewelry out of fallen graffiti.
Right.
Yes,
I've
this is
heard.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it's a social enterprise, too. All the employees, the jewelry designers, are women that were formerly homeless or other vulnerable situations.
Oh, wow.
And super cool because they are very friendly if you have children or other obligations. Like when I went in to Rebel Now, one of the designers' sons was sleeping on the couch, So it's just like it allows the situation where you can work and learn your trade in a friendly environment. So I followed them on Instagram, and I saw this fabulous necklace that was a musical note. And the post was like, our designer Brenda made this, and it's available one day only. She loves music. She designed this especially because she loves music. Who wants it?
Wow.
So I actually got it.
You're like, I want it.
Yeah, I want this because I love music too. So I got it, and I said, but hey, I want to come pick it up in person. So, which was super
Neat.
cool. Instead of getting it in the mail at my house, I went and I met Brenda. So Brenda designed it, and we just found all the stuff we had in common and just totally bonded.
Now,
and took
where are they now?
pictures.
Because we interviewed them for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know, our second, third episode.
We talked
it was,
about
it was
that,
very
yeah.
early on. I interviewed Amy, the founder.
Yes, and I saw her there,
and,
too.
And they go and they harvest graffiti. So they, in the
Yeah,
spring,
I've seen it,
they
yeah.
scrape it off. And
It's
they've got
crazy.
these big
Well, they
Yeah.
don't scrape. It's like if it's fallen
Sure,
or yeah.
whatever, right.
And actually,
Sure.
All right. It's
They harvest it.
Right.
Come on.
brand new. They actually had this crazy table with stacks. It looked like old library books almost, the layers of paint from Flint.
Really?
So
Yep.
people in Flint. And so now they actually have people sending them.
Yeah, I love the story. So a year ago, I got my girlfriend a piece of Rebel Nell jewelry for our anniversary. It was our first anniversary. We just celebrated 2 years over
Nice.
the weekend, and that was the gift that I got her because I love this story.
Yeah. Did you get her a necklace?
Yes.
And now they have bracelets and earrings and dog tags.
They've
and-
expanded a lot because Amy was, I think, still doing legal work for the Detroit Tigers at the time.
Oh, yeah, no.
And this wasn't a full-time enterprise
This is
for
full
her
time.
yet.
They just hired their 20th woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is their website rebelnell.com or
Yes,
no? It is.
yes.
Okay, so I could look it up. I like to
Yeah.
check it out. Yeah.
And you can they sell online, but you could also call them up if you wanted a specific
And go there,
color,
yeah.
and you can go.
Oh, you can like have them make something?
I sure you could. Yeah, you could definitely do custom stuff. They have all the tools there, and they're happy to be creative. And they're in Pony Ride, so they're still there. Great space though. And when I was there picking up, there was just like a random tour group of people from all over the world. I mean, this story of the company has touched a lot of people.
That's awesome.
If you want to give somebody a gift that's like a Detroit gift,
Yeah.
this is a cool way to go.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that
and
is
it'll
cool.
they have different collections, and it'll have a tag. Like mine has a little silver tag on the back of the class that says DET for Detroit.
Yeah.
The TAP project, it'll be identified. You'll know where it came from.
Yeah.
So
Because I can't afford China.
this
I want to get my friends cool stuff, but I can't afford that.
This is still a treat, but cheaper than China.
Right, I know.
All right, I want to give a shout out
Yeah.
to this is actually an event that happened a couple of weeks ago, but didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I wanted to talk about it. This may be somebody that you know, Mike, Sam Rager.
I know Sam, sure. We have her
Samantha.
booked. We've booked Sam.
Oh,
yeah, we have her on our schedule.
She is very funny.
She is.
just recorded her first stand-up comedy album. She did it over at Sellerman's.
That's awesome.
And it was amazing. And she's one of those people, I mean, again, I dabbled with open mics and I would see her out and about.
Yeah.
And to see somebody that you've seen in these situations then get up and do a full polished product.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you just sort of feel proud for them.
I like her
wow,
so
I
much.
saw-
She's so good.
Yeah, and the room was packed. There was a lot of other stand-up comedians there. There was a lot of
support.
a lot of
Yeah.
support,
Yeah.
lot of love. And I will say this, I hear a lot of up-and-coming stand-up comics say, "Oh yeah, I've got an hour of material," and I roll my eyes.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, okay,
No,
whatever.
you don't.
I
That's
gotta tell you,
crazy. Yeah.
she had a solid hour. Like I was like sitting there.
That's good to know.
And
So the album is an hour long.
yeah, she recorded
Wow.
an hour.
Did she kill for an hour, Seth?
She
That's
Good.
gotta be
All right.
She
so
was
hard.
very funny.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, so I don't
That's
know
good to
when
know.
it's coming out. I mean, so it's now been recorded. Whatever needs to be done
Yeah.
for it to come out, we'll let you know when it does. But yeah, I wanted to give her props because I
That's
thought that was an
awesome.
amazing show.
Good for her.
What about you, Mike?
My wife and I went to Greektown Casino, and I didn't know how much I love that until I went. But I got
Do you
like
get the bug?
Oh my gosh, I didn't I got like a little. Like a feeling in my stomach, and then like I think I won $16 at one. I'm like, "Yeah, this is awesome!" And then I was chasing that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But I got a free crock pot. Because they're giving them away at Greektown. If you get a player's card, then they give you. They're calling it Crocktober. And as I was walking out, I kept telling everybody, "What a crock!" Because
Exactly.
that crock pot cost me $400.
So it didn't come full of money?
No. I was chasing the money.
Oh, wow.
man.
Yeah.
It's true that you do get a bit of a high when you're gambling.
I
mean,
sure.
enjoyed it. Like because I quit drinking and
Right.
smoking cigarettes and stuff, and I think I had my new vice.
Well, it's a good thing you're busy because you need to
I'm
stay
too busy to go
Yeah.
spend my money.
How does that compare to the high of like killing on stage when you've done a good set? Is it similar?
no.
or-
Yeah, it's that same buzz in your tummy. Like, you know what I equate it to? When I was a kid, and I would be in I remember I was in 7th grade, and my teacher told me I was not allowed to. I had a Reese's peanut butter cup. It was after lunch, and I was eating it, and he told me, "You cannot bring that in class if you don't have enough for everybody." And then I was like, okay, I get it. Well, 2 weeks later, his wife walked in, and I thought, uh-oh. I said, Mr. Seeger, if you don't have enough for everybody, you shouldn't. But the feeling I got when I thought of that joke in my stomach, I had this feeling in my stomach like I knew right then that I was going to say something funny, and that was like this feeling that I chased my whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the casino's like. It gives you that little buzz in your tummy, and it's not.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of comics, there's a couple raunchy comedians coming to town, and we'll tell you about it in just a moment.
This is the D.
Concert calendar.
Becky, what's going on in the music scene?
So this Wednesday, October 17th, the Sun Ra Orchestra at El Club. I tell you, that place has so many different types of music. So this is a 15-piece band.
Can they fit 15 pieces in that club?
Yeah. I mean, there's a pretty big stage.
All right.
It'll be intimate. Yeah.
I was just there for the first time. I saw a show for the Motor City Comedy Festival.
Oh,
over
okay.
there. Yeah.
So they're avant-garde space jazz. So this reminds me, one time I was with
Okay.
I was with friends at the Majestic, and we were back when they had the cafe down below, and we saw members of the band that we were going to go see, but we didn't know what it was. And we said, "Hey, are you the guys playing tonight? What kind of music do you play?" And without missing a beat, the guy's like, "Space porn funk." And we're like, "What? Can you dance to it?" And he's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, you can dance to space porn funk.
So Thursday, October 18th, Sirius XM, the Hair Nation channel, right? So they have a Hair Nation tour, and it's coming to St. Andrews Hall.
Yeah.
Are you into that, Mike?
That's my favorite. Like, that's what I'm into.
I saw your eyes kind of
Jackal
lit up.
and all that stuff, man. That's what I was into. Yeah, I'm older than you guys, so that's
Hey, more power to you. So
right.
Jack Russell's Great White, Bullet Boys, and Enough's Enough.
Bullet Boys, man.
Nice lineup.
Where the down boys go?
See you there.
I'll be the Great White.
Friday, October 19th, the Royal Oak Symphony Orchestra season premiere is at Royal Oak Middle School. I don't know what the acoustics are like there, but that's where they play.
I've never been.
Royal Oak
That's,
Symphony Orchestra season premiere at the Royal Oak Middle School.
I pick up women at a different middle school, so.
Oh,
You know
good
what?
job.
That's just not even. It's not funny.
The moms at the PTA, right?
Yes, exactly.
The
Yeah,
mom.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
That's
Oh,
better.
that's so much better.
That is better. Some
lot better.
creepy way.
So Saturday, there's a bunch of shows. Maybe you'll like this one too, Mike. Detroit Metal Fest at Harpo.
Yeah, that's up your alley.
Harpo's is where
Yeah.
I used to drink there when I was like 17.
Yeah.
really?
Harpo's
I
the
used to
spot
get
for that.
so drunk there.
They
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
They were-
And when I was 17, I looked like I was 11. Like I can't imagine how they let me drink.
They
there.
were pretty loose there. Yeah.
And it was a quarter beer. We would fill our whole table because it was for 1 hour. It was a quarter of beer, so we'd fill our whole table and just drink warm beer all night. Oh, I'd get so drunk.
Classy.
Oh, it was classy. We'd bring the ladies. Oh, here's a couple quarter beers for you, little lady.
You went all out. All out. So we got Clutch at the Fillmore. This is all on Saturday. Minus the Bear at St. Andrews. Electric Six at the Magic Stick. And Ben Sharkey. What's so funny? What's so funny?
Electric Six. The Magic Stick.
Nothing. Well, you have to be careful when you say it. Yeah,
you're right.
I see it now.
See, I'm a little tired, Esther. I got it.
My wife has a drawer like that. You know? Anyway.
Nice. So speaking of your wife, have you gotten her anything for Sweetest Day? Because that's this weekend. So Ben Sharkey, a local favorite, he's a crooner. He's playing at the Farmington Players Barn in a Sweet Estate concert.
So I love this holiday. This is nothing that I had ever celebrated anywhere else that I've lived, and I came here. And last year was the first time that I'd have a girlfriend during Sweet Estate, and oh my God, she just pampered me. And we went and stayed at the Quonset hut.
Oh, the Airbnb,
and, in the Airbnb that's up there, and oh my God, what a great holiday!
Okay, so you're the first guy I've ever heard say that.
Why?
So most people just think it's a silly, Hallmark holiday.
Because usually it's something that men have to get for women.
No,
Men
that's
have
not the way it was explained to me. The way it was explained to me is Valentine's Day is that.
Yeah.
That Sweetest Day is the women take care of the. If this is not the rules, please do not tell my girlfriend.
I've never heard that.
No, don't tell her. Yeah, don't tell her.
Like
but I've never heard that.
It's like the Sadie Hawkins dance?
Yes, exactly.
See, nobody ever explained that to me.
I've never heard
Me
that.
either.
Okay,
No.
Thankfully, she doesn't listen to this
She has
podcast.
got the.
Oh, that's funny.
She has put the wool over your eyes on that.
Well, how?
But you're
Well,
fine.
she's the one that's doing stuff for him.
But
So
I do nothing.
I think she's like, yeah. Like,
I have a great Sweetest Day story. My best friend had this girl that he was dating, and he's pretty well off, and she was very aware of that. So she'd always be like, "Hey, don't forget, this holiday's coming up. Don't forget to get me something," like that kind of thing. Well, they were living together at the time, and he was breaking up with her. But Sweetest Day was coming, and she was like, "Don't forget." And he's like, "Oh, I got something that's going to be there for you." He left her, and he emptied the apartment on Sweetest Day and left nothing but a note there saying,
Wow.
"Here's your gift."
What kind of people are you friends with?
My friend, it's the funniest thing I ever heard. You didn't know her. She
is so mean.
She deserved it. She was not. She was a gold digger.
I didn't like that aspect of it either.
It was, and it was more than I could articulate in this short amount of time. She was over the top, so she deserved
We'll
it.
take your word
No
for
wonder
it.
you guys don't like this holiday.
I mean, I don't have anything like that. I just thought it's kind of silly.
He's like, "Oh, you're gonna get every day." She'd be like, "You getting me something?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's coming."
Yeah, she asked for it.
Wow.
So on Sunday, this is kind of cool at Cliff Bell's. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's such a great experience. And so you could basically stay there from 4 till 10 kind of thing, because the Wayne State University Student Jam is that afternoon. And then you can stick around for the Matt LaRusso Trio that evening. And they have pretty good food there, too. Have dinner.
That is.
Public Image Limited is at the Majestic, and Particles at El Club. On Monday, October 22nd, and actually the 23rd, too, there's 2 shows, 9 Inch Nails at the Fox.
Man.
So,
Have you seen them?
Oh, never seen them.
Oh, you've seen them before,
yes,
right?
and I'm going on Tuesday.
It's an amazing show.
I know
can't
their
wait.
music.
I can't wait.
Let me tell you, my high school years would have been a lot better if I never discovered Pretty Hate Machine.
Made
Yeah.
you, made you a little angry.
little angsty.
Yeah, that song is. They're crazy.
Yeah. Well, and Trent Reznor is so talented. He's done like a bunch of soundtracks now, and they have 3 new albums. I'm looking forward to it. Also, the English Beats at Magic Bag on Monday. And also Tuesday, another one of my favorite bands, Goo Goo Dolls. Dizzy Up the Girl, that album is the 20th anniversary.
That's a
if you
great
can believe
album.
it. It's
See,
a
they
great
have an
album.
anniversary too.
Yeah. And that's going to be at the Fillmore.
That's
So
the one with-
they're there doing the anniversary show
Yeah.
at the Fillmore?
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
That album had a lot of hits.
Oh, yeah.
Slide was
Yep.
like the main one. Iris,
Yep.
that was in that movie.
Black Balloon was on
Black
that
Balloon,
one.
Yeah.
That's a
lot
good
of great
album.
songs.
I love it.
So,
So tickets are on sale now for New Kids on the Block. So they're doing a reunion tour kind of thing. Retro, yeah. I'm not really into it, but it's going to be at LCA next June. They're calling it the Mixtape Tour. And they'll bring along with them Salt and Peppa, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, Naughty by Nature.
so that's weird because I love Salt and Peppa. I love Naughty by Nature.
I know they don't seem to go with New Kids on the
Yeah,
Block.
no.
But
not
it's
at
all that era. It's all that time. So
It
it's
is,
you know.
but it was not.
It's like
But
a
that might
80s
be what they
cruise.
have to do to sell out.
Yeah, I
You know,
guess.
20,000 seats.
Join forces.
Yeah.
Yeah, at LCA, I know.
That's a lot of seats.
It really is.
So you got to mix it up a little.
So there's a documentary out. It's called The Untold Story of Detroit Hip Hop. You can find it on Amazon. The subtitle is Language of the Unheard, which I think is pretty interesting because you think of the birth of hip hop in Brooklyn, New York, and get a lot of the story comes from there. But there's this whole other rise in hip hop in Detroit, and a lot of great stories and legends that kind of have gone under the radar. So Brian Harmon, he's better known as Champtown. So he's a rapper DJ. He was credited with helping give Kid Rock his start, and some other people too. He's the founder of Straight Jacket record label. He made this movie, directed it. He has guest appearances, interviews. Apparently, the really gem of the movie is a bunch of early footage of like Kid Rock and Eminem. I guess there's a scene
Goofing off at Paisley Park at Prince's.
Yeah, so
recording
Eminem was
studios?
at Paisley
Wow.
Park. Yeah.
You've been. That's a place to go visit if you've never been. Are you
I've
a
never
Prince
been.
fan?
Oh, you got
Yeah,
it.
who isn't? How could you not
Exactly.
like Prince?
They've
Exactly.
turned it into a museum, and it's only been what, 2 years?
Yeah, well, they-
Did his family do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
Imagine
it
them.
planned, though. He had it planned.
Right.
Oh,
so
that's
It's
he's
pretty
really
amazing.
organized.
Yeah.
It was one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest.
You went?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go.
And
He's got a
I'd
whole
like to go.
club in his house.
oh,
That's
yeah, with all
craziness.
these like curved sofas and a special menu, like all these foods named after his songs.
And then after he plays in the club in his house, there's like a second smaller club for the
Yes.
more intimate after
For the after party at
Right.
his house.
in his house, yeah. But you can see like all these handwritten lyrics and a bunch of his outfits, and the doves still live there. It's two white doves that the staff takes care of. Oh, it's incredible.
Can't get enough.
This is the D3.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your favorite shows.
All right, we've got one of our favorites back with us. We talk to her every now and then about music because she's an expert. I mean, this woman knows,
That's an understatement.
yeah, everything that I mean, I'm always impressed. I always walk away with it, go, God,
I know.
I worked in the music industry. I don't know half the stuff. she
Right,
does.
I know.
We have her back. We have Ann Delisi. She is the host of WDET's Ann Delisi's Essential Music. You can catch it every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. on 101.9 WDET. Ann, thanks so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, as always.
Oh, well, look, we've now hit the end of the summer, I think. I think it's officially, like,
I think
finally,
it's over.
It got cold, so
Yes,
we're
it's
calling
official.
it. Let's talk about your favorite shows. I mean, what did you see in the last couple of months?
You know, there's an artist, a band that I think is one of the best touring bands around right now. And I would tell anybody that I know, no matter what kind of music they love, to go see this band because they're such amazing performers. And that's St. Paul and the Broken Bones. They were at the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor recently, and they really were incredible. And so I would encourage anybody to go see this band. They are incredible players, but Paul Janeway, their lead singer, is somebody who is absolutely born to be on stage, and boy, can that guy sing. So it was a stellar performance as always, and they were amazing. And I would encourage anybody to see them next time they come through town because they're meant to be a touring band. They're meant to be on stage. They're great. They have a new album called Young Sick Camellia that's really good as well.
So this is recommended if you like what kind of bands?
Any.
This is
Well, but give me like a touch point. I mean, is this if you're into Prince, if you're into U2, if you're into like, you know.
anybody, the ones you mentioned, you would love them. They have an amazing horn section. He is a powerful singer. It's got a little bit of R&B. It's pop. It's got almost a northern soul feel at certain points in time. So it is really just, if you want to see a band that writes really great songs and they know how to perform, this is the band.
All right, St. Paul and the Broken Bones. Put that on the list.
I just made a note in my iPhone.
There you go.
So
All right.
now it's official.
Yeah.
Put it on your
They're
Spotify playlist.
I will.
They are. And the thing about Paul Janeway, one quick thing is he grew up in a very religious household, so he wasn't allowed to listen to Prince or Marvin Gaye or any of that kind of stuff. And when he finally got to discover these artists, it had a profound effect on him. And you can feel it when you listen to his music. He's incredible. He does kind of look like he should be doing your taxes, though. So if you listen to him and then you see him, you're like, this can't be the same guy. But it's the same dude, and he's awesome.
Awesome. Any others?
Well, I did go to the Elton John farewell show.
Oh, yeah.
At Little Caesars, and suffice it to say, he was incredible. He played like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and he played songs you would expect and songs you wouldn't expect him to play. He's an amazing voice. He sounds incredible. And two of the band members have been with him for 50 years.
Wow.
And so you'll see all these guys are like in their early 70s, and they sound amazing. Like they are all on their game. And so, this is the longest goodbye ever. It's going to take him 3 years to play over 300 cities to finally be done. But so we're kind of on the front end of the whole thing.
2 hours and 40 minutes. I mean, you've got to be in pretty good shape
To get
at
through
70
that.
to get
Yeah.
through that. I mean, that takes some stamina.
He sang every song. He played on every song.
I have a question.
It was
How many times
incredible,
did he
yeah.
change outfits?
he had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's I thought, man. I'll bet you in 2.5 hours you got to change outfits.
How many times do you change outfits in an average?
I never. I haven't changed my clothes since last week.
Elton John's got you beat by a long shot.
Yeah.
At one point, one of his costume changes was a bathrobe. It looked like a pink, a light pink bathrobe. But, you're Elton John. I guess you wear whatever the heck you want.
Exactly.
But he was amazing. The graphics and all the screens and all the everything that they had to enhance this show was really stunning. Like, they must have spent a fortune getting all of the scenes that played behind him during the whole thing to get them right. It was pretty impressive.
Wow.
Now, Becky was telling us that she saw you at this pizza slam that happened just recently.
On Sunday.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what that was all about.
I trained for it my whole life.
Me too.
I trained for it my whole life. I was one of the judges, and it was a benefit for the Detroit Dog Rescue. Chef James Regato from Mabel Gray is a big supporter of theirs. He got one of his dogs from the Detroit Dog Rescue. So this is a benefit for the DDR, and it was Chef Kate Williams from Lady of the House, James Regato from Mabel Gray, John Vermiglio from Grey Ghost, Brad Greenhill from Tocoi, and Luciano Del Signore from Baco. And they meant business, let me tell you. 300 tickets were sold for this thing, so they had to serve up a whole lot of pie, I'll tell you that.
It was bustling, yeah.
It was great. And Kate Williams, Chef Kate Williams from Lady of the House, she won. It was her pizza that won.
Now, are you allowed to tell us, was that your vote, or is it a secret ballot kind of thing?
I scored her pizza very high. So it was a combination of, we had to rate all of these pizzas on different things, and then there was 5 of us rating the pizzas. But her pizza was really, really one. I mean, they were all good. These chefs are all incredible, but she managed to win over all the judges to get the top spot. It really was a great pizza.
I want to take a second to say what was on her pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lamb ham, Brussels sprout kraut.
Wait, back up. Lamb can be ham? I was under the impression.
I asked her, what is that? So it doesn't have to be from a pig, but it's the same section of the body on the lamb.
Oh, it's the ham hock
So, wait,
of the lamb.
Does that mean, is there like a Seth ham? Like what?
Yes, there is.
There would be if anyone wanted to eat that, but we don't.
It's called the Seth hawk.
Yeah.
It also had aged goat cheese.
If somebody wanted to eat that, we have to go back. She said, well, if somebody wanted to eat that.
You dismissed that out of hand. I mean, you never know.
I'm sure there's somebody out there. So aged goat cheese, caper gremolata, crispy basil, and chili oil.
That
Wow.
sounds good.
Doesn't sound like your
It was
pepperoni
great.
pizza. It was amazing.
I think I'd eat it.
Oh, yes, I would too. And then the other thing I want to ask you about, Ann, is Drinkard Sisters, because this is something that you brought up to us.
The Drinkard sisters are these 2 sisters from Detroit, and they have been singing background vocals for a lot of people for a long time. They have their new album out. But one of the interesting things is, and you don't get to talk to a lot of people about this, but is sibling harmony. And so they sing in harmony, and it was fascinating to talk with them. I mean, their new
Mike's
album.
got a confused look on. He's like, you don't get along with your siblings?
No, I do. I don't sing with them.
You might be getting along, but you probably aren't singing with them like these 2 are.
Right,
I mean, they've been
right.
sing together their whole life. They made a joke during the interview that their family would, sing Happy Birthday in 5-part harmony, which they thought was normal,
That's funny.
for people. And their very first album is titled Enough Already, which I did talk to them about that. Said, this is your first album, Enough Already. And they just said it was in response to the climate, like hearing so many things over and over again. It's like enough already. And so they're talented. They're absolutely lovely. And they put out this new album finally, and it's been a long time in the making. So it was fascinating to talk to them about harmonizing with each other. And when you have the same DNA, that it really comes so much more naturally. And that it is a challenge for them to harmonize with other people. So it's pretty cool. And they're great.
And you actually got a chance to interview them, so we have a clip from that interview, right?
Yeah, and they talk about that, the thing I just mentioned, they talk about it in this clip.
All right, let's take a listen.
The DNA of our throats that we share, most of, it's like those cells coming together in unison and finding a vibration that really matches. And it's like when we're writing a new song or working on harmonies for a new song or singing on somebody else's songs, because we've done that too.
You've done a lot of that, right?
Yeah. We can lock in together and find where those frequencies start to sync up, and it's a hard thing to describe, and it's hard for me to harmonize with other people. It's like definitely harder.
Really?
Yeah.
Way harder to try to come up with harmonies with a different group of people that I'm not related to. This just comes really easily. Like she said, it's like an unfair advantage, having the same parents and having, vocal cords that are made of the same material, gives us an advantage,
I couldn't do that with my sister.
See, that's what I was just thinking. Now it makes sense to me, that whole symbiotic relationship, because
Right.
both my sisters are in recovery. They're my drunkard sisters.
There you go.
I have 4 sisters, and none of us can sing.
No.
Yeah, no,
You'd think somebody would have gotten it, but no.
definitely not. And let me ask you about one other thing before you go, because we'd be remiss if we didn't. Of course, we've got the big event, the MC50 tour is coming up.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what this is and why this is important and what's happening.
So the MC5 recorded Kick Out the Jams over 2 nights over Halloween in 1968. So it's 50 years ago. And Wayne Kramer, the guitarist for the MC5, has put together a band calling the MC50 Tour. And they're coming to Detroit the 26th at St. Andrews, the 27th at the Fillmore. But the next event is on the 30th, which is to the day that they recorded it at the Grandy Ballroom. And they're going to do the album from top to bottom at Third Man Records. It's sold out, I believe. But they're going to record it straight to acetate. So they're going to, just
That's
pick
so
that
cool.
specific
That's
day
really
at the
amazing.
specific time, and they're going to record it 50 years later
That's
to
great.
the day.
That is cool.
Pretty cool.
And not many people would be able to say that.
No.
50 years. Wow.
That's amazing. So awesome.
Yeah, I really quickly, I know we have to wrap up. One of the things that I had asked Wayne Kramer when I interviewed him is I said, when you guys were making this album and this music, did you think 50 years later it would matter that people are still influenced by what you did? And he said, I know this is going to sound, I think he said egotistical. He said, but we really thought about that. We thought about whether or not, this music, we felt like it would stand the test of time.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is
So
amazing.
there you go. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
can't, there's nothing I do that.
No,
I mean,
that
I ask that question and I go, nah.
The best I got is that I'm from the same town as MC5.
Right.
Well, you know
all
what's
I got.
crazy? Very successful people have stories like that about them.
That's
I
so
remember. You remember
true.
Madonna being on American Bandstand, and she said, "I'm going to rule the world." Or I've heard stories about Kid Rock saying that when he met with his first record company, he told them, he goes, "You better sign me because I'm gonna make you millions of dollars."
Do you think it's like just a confidence thing that in order to be
To be a
that,
performer,
you have to
maybe.
have that in you?
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's one of those things that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's
Right.
like it's
Yeah.
like announcing that we're going to go to the moon, even though we have no idea how we're going to get to
Yeah,
the moon.
you have to believe it.
You
Right.
really have to
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
it deep down. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Lady Gaga, she in A Star Is Born, she plays a person who has no confidence and no idea that she's going to be famous. And Lady Gaga said, she absolutely knew she was going to be. She had it.
Right.
She knew it. She felt it. She had all the confidence in the world. So when she played this character, Allie, in A Star Is Born, that was really different for her because she never felt like that.
Right.
I always knew I was going to be a comedian, and even when I didn't believe it, people told me I was going to be. People I remember I have yearbooks from when I was in 7th grade that people said, "You're going to be a comedian."
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's
It's
cool.
just,
Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, Anne, thanks so much for stopping
Thank
by.
you.
We love talking to you. Of course,
Always.
people can listen every weekend, Saturday and Sunday on 101.9 WDET. You've got Anne Delisi's Essential Music. Thanks a lot, Anne. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye, Ann.
Bye-bye.
This is the Deep Breathe.
On stage.
Let's talk about some of the things that are coming to stages in the Detroit area, starting with a couple of comedians that are going to be here Saturday night. Christopher Titus is going to be at the Royal Oak Music Theater.
I know Christopher Titus.
Do you?
Sure. Yeah, I know him.
You work with him in the past?
Oh
or-
yeah, I work with him. I work with everybody.
Wow,
I
that's amazing.
I work with a lot of people.
Uh,
He's actually in the documentary that I'm in called Be Funny.
What's this? What's it? You're in?
Yeah, what's it
what's
about?
that
Yeah, it's about stand-up comedy. I mean, it's about I don't know, like 15 comedians or something. They followed us all around doing stand-up, and it's available on YouTube.
Really?
Which,
So we can go see it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll post. We'll find it. We'll post
Yeah, it's
a
called
link.
Be Funny.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew Dice Clay as well is also going to be at the Andiamo showroom.
Yeah.
So
Which I've never worked with him, but he's always funny.
Did
He's a
you guys
riot.
know he's in A Star Is Born? He's in the movie
with Lady Gaga.
with Lady Gaga. He plays her father in Star
He
Is Born.
plays Da Da Gaga? I just came up with that. Okay, that's why I make the big bucks right there.
That is, yeah, that's definitely why.
Papa Da Da Gaga.
We're working out material for the
For the
big
club,
event
for this weekend.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you've got Disney on Ice presenting Frozen at Little Caesars Arena. Friday, the 19th, you have the Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers happening at the Charles Wright Museum. Do you know about this
No.
world of storytelling?
Dude, I'll go there and tell my horse story.
You should.
Oh my gosh, you should.
I should go there. I want to tell stories.
I love this sort of storytelling world. A lot of people may be familiar with The Moth, which they do once a month here in
the Marble
Detroit.
Bar.
They do
Yeah.
it twice a month over in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
But basically, people get up and they tell stories. They have to be true. They're usually 5 minutes in length.
I have amazing stories. I have so many great stories.
You got to do it.
It's different than stand-up comedy because it
No, I
doesn't
know.
have to be punchline.
It doesn't have to be
punchline,
funny.
punchline. Right.
No.
But I have some amazing stories. I've lived quite a charmed life, and I have some really cool stories.
You would love this.
I
event.
would love that.
Yeah.
Now, the Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers, they pick their storytellers ahead of time. It's
Sure.
not like The Moth,
Right.
where you get
Right.
drawn at the beginning of
Right.
the evening. And the theme for this event is I Remember Coleman.
Oh, Coleman Young.
Coleman Young. yes.
Interesting.
So two of the speakers, one of them is going to be Marvin Beatty, who was the first African-American deputy fire commissioner here in Detroit. And then there is a burlesque and vaudeville dancer, Lottie the Body.
Oh,
And she's going to talk about remembering Mayor Coleman Young.
Yeah, because
well, I'm sure she did. She's got to be about 90 now.
Yeah, she's up there now. I mean, I don't know that she's the body anymore, but she certainly
Right.
was. Back
Oh,
in
yeah.
the day.
She's represented in a mural of Detroit history in Bert's Jazz Club.
Yeah, so that's happening at the Charles Wright. Opening in theaters this weekend, you've got Chicago happening at the Fisher Theater. Closing this weekend, you've got Tipping Point
Chicago.
Theater in Northville. They've got the Miss Firecracker Contest. Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle has Fortune Femster performing.
Feimster, yep.
Yep, Feimster, sorry. She's
okay.
from the South, right?
Yeah.
You work with her
Funny,
too?
and I know her, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
She's
He
He
funny.
knows everyone.
He knows everybody.
Everyone.
I do.
Yeah.
Kevin Damn Fool Simpson's going to be at the Punchline in Southfield.
I don't know him.
Well, maybe we
I
can
don't know.
introduce you. And, of course, over at One Night Stands.
I'll be there. I'm there all weekend. This is actually one of my last shows that I'm ever going to do as a comedian. I'm kind of
Really?
I'm
What, are you
retiring a
retiring?
little.
Oh.
Well, I'm not traveling anymore, you know,
Okay.
because I'm
Going to run the club.
I'm the GM of the club. So essentially, this is I might do a couple. I know I'm doing one because Dave Landau couldn't do a Thursday.
Yep.
So I'm going to do that, and that's it. I'm doing a fundraiser, but that's it. I have no more on my
You don't
books.
think you're going to miss it? You
Oh,
don't
I'm
think
going to
it's
miss it.
right?
Oh, it's going to. I'm going to have to do it, but I'm not going to
get up and
travel.
do a guest set here and there? And
I'm not going to travel to do it. Like I said, if I get, I have a thing that I do pretty regularly in Aruba. I may do
Oh.
that. Atlantic City, Las Vegas. If I get those, New York, those I'll do. But I'm
Sure.
I'm not traveling anymore.
All right.
I'm semi-retired. That's what I'm calling it. Yeah.
So people need to go see you this
Yeah.
weekend
Yeah.
then at One Night Stands.
Yeah.
The D. Breathe.
Food and drink.
Becky, let's get into the world of food and drink.
I would love to. So the 2018 Detroit Food Power Award winners were announced on Sunday. So this is an award that goes out to people who have done something cool to improve the food system and food justice and those types of things. So the Detroit Food Policy Council honors people. So the winners are in the individual category, Deirdre Hope. She's, among other things, she partnered with Detroit Public Schools to hold extension Master Gardener courses. And a lot of people are interested in growing food in Detroit. And so she helps people learn how to do that.
You know, it's amazing because we come from a generation where I feel like a lot of food came out of boxes and bags in the grocery store. And, you know, I mean, I've never seen a live chicken running around.
Well, see,
And,
yeah,
you know,
that's where I kind of differ. So I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and I grew up downriver, and my parents they grew up other places. And I think because we had such a big family and we had a decent amount of land, I grew up with a garden. Like, we grew a lot of our food.
yeah. Did you?
But I always felt like it was kind of like a little bit dorky. Like, we were recycling and composting and stuff. That was not,
back then?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was
It's cool
not.
now. It's come
Now
back
it's
around.
cool, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah, my parents were ahead of the curve.
Yeah. We didn't even have a microwave for a really long time. So
My parents did none of that. They did none of that.
okay, so
They wasted and squandered. They
opened up boxes and funny colored foods.
Oh, they did nothing to help anything.
All right, so nonprofit organization that won an award. This is well-deserving. Food Lab Detroit. I've seen a lot of their work. They help, basically, they're like a membership organization. They help locally owned food businesses grow and thrive and network together. The business award went to Avalon International Breads. I know you guys you must have tried their stuff, right? At the various bakeries and cafes around town, plus they sell at grocery stores. The sustainability award went to the Farmer's Hand in Corktown, which is a little like small grocery that sells a lot of farm-produced goods and a little takeout counter. And a youth award, this is super cool. There's a young woman named Callie Brannon. She founded an organization called One More Meal. So she's launching this pilot program in several schools across the city. So she takes leftover food in the school systems and turns it into take-home meals for the kids that might not get food at home. They might qualify for the free or reduced lunch program.
Do you know how old she is?
I don't.
I'd love to know.
I don't.
That's a pretty smart idea.
I know. And she's getting the kids involved too.
Yeah, that's what's great.
And packaging it up, and so you're eliminating waste. You're giving kids meals that need them. So
I love
kudos
people
to all
who are
those.
tackling this food waste problem.
Exactly.
This idea of food
Yeah.
that just goes unused for whatever reason.
While there's so many hungry people,
I know.
so just
Yeah.
need to connect the two. So. Pure Spirits, a cocktail night at the museum, is happening this weekend. I think it's Friday night, the 19th, at the Detroit Historical Museum. So it's put on by the Michigan Spirits Association. They call it an immersive cocktail experience. So I think there's going to be samples from a bunch of different spirit providers, and 15 samples. You can get it in cocktails or on the rocks or neat. And there's also a DJ there, DJ Thornstriker, that's going to be playing. Jolly Pumpkin, the brewery that's in Midtown and also Royal Oak, is opening a Dearborn location.
Nice.
It's at Wagner Place. So this is a development that's owned by Ford's Property Development Division. It recently did a big renovation, and not only Jolly Pumpkin going to be there, but also City Barbecue, Modern Greek Grill, Paradise Birani Indian Cuisine, and a coffee shop called Eleanor's Cafe, and also frozen yogurt. So kind of like a mini food hall type of situation.
Mike, where do you like to go out when you go out to a restaurant?
I like Paul's Chop House on the east side, which is in I like steak. So, but when you go there, it's on the east side. It's kind of like in an industrial area. It doesn't look like
It would be much.
awesome restaurant would be
Yeah.
there, and Clausen Steakhouse, which I love.
Oh, that place is great.
I
I
used to live in
groovy.
Clausen. I've never been.
can't believe it. It's like stepping back in time.
It looks like an old school,
It
like
is.
Mad Men type
That's right.
It
place.
is.
You go
It
in, you
is.
expect some big fat guy with 5 rings on his fingers to be sitting in the corner. Yeah.
It's cool, and they have bands in there. It's like a dinner dancing experience.
And their steaks are ridiculous. Like, they're very good.
They're very
and,
good,
And
yeah.
pretty reasonably priced.
Oh,
like, it's
definitely.
not some crazy, you're spending $75 for a steak. Or
No,
anything.
it's no
pretty good.
no prime and
All right,
proper.
I'll have
Yeah.
to make a trip back to Clausen just to
Yeah, you
check it
should.
out.
This is the D.
Detroit.
This is the D. Breathe.
You like the little production
Yeah, wait.
elements there.
Hey, you sound just like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for hanging out. We had a lot of
I
fun
know,
with
this
you
is
today.
great.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We got one last thing before we go.
Little game.
We're going to play a little game with you. We're going to
Okay.
get some rapid fire recommendations. But before that comes, I do want to let people just know what's going on. First of all, thanks to our guest, Delisi of Essential Music on WDET. Go check her out every weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 11. Also, on Thursday's episode, we have Chef Brandon Zarb of the Rising Stars Academy. You're definitely going to want to check that interview out. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Leave a review.
Please.
That helps other people find the show. We've also got a mobile app if you want to download it. It's the easiest way to listen to the show. Plus, we're on Alexa. If you've got an Amazon Echo, all you have to do is say, Alexa.
Enable the Debrief podcast.
See, she's done it. All right, Mike, you ready to play a little game?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here's how it works. we're going to ask you for a series of rapid-fire recommendations. Just tell us the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Number one.
I'm going to try to do this without being funny.
Well, it's okay if you're funny.
I like it when you're funny.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good. I'm going to try to be serious.
Start with this. Who is your favorite Detroit musical artist?
Favorite Detroit musical artist, Uncle Cracker.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I know him.
Oh.
Well, he's my best friend's cousin. And as a little kid, he would come over and he would stutter and he would say, "Maybe I could spend the night," and then we would tease him and we'd be like, "No, you can't spend the night." And then we flew to Vegas to see him when he had become famous, and we were supposed to meet him backstage, and we went and we talked to the bouncer guy, and the bouncer guy was like, "You're not on the list," and we said, "Go talk to Matt," and he said. The bouncer guy went and came back, and he goes, "Matt said that you would understand this." He said, "Screw you."
That's awesome.
Okay.
If you had a time machine, which moment in Detroit history would you go back to?
When the Tigers won the World Series in 1968.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's a good choice.
Solid.
Where's the first place that you take out-of-town visitors to when they come?
Oh, out-of-town visitors. We went, last time we had out-of-town visitors, we went to Joe Muir's. On
the riverfront there?
Yeah, on the riverfront. Yeah, which is a nice little place, and it's great food. And a friend of mine works there. She's awesome, yeah.
Perfect. What's your favorite hidden gem in Detroit?
Hidden gem. You know, I like the little bar bikes. The bike that you can pedal around, and
like the
that's a pretty
handlebar
cool
and
thing.
Michigan Peddler,
I haven't done that.
Am I dumb? I don't know. I think that's
I've done it a few times.
Really?
It is super fun.
It does look like fun.
Yeah.
yes.
What's your favorite thing about Detroit during the Halloween season?
We have a party. We have an annual party at my house, and I don't know. We're in the suburbs, so I don't even know if it counts. But I love hanging out in my subdivision, having my Halloween party.
That's
all.
awesome.
Yes.
How about local TV personality? Who do you like?
Devin Skillion.
Oh,
just because I enjoy saying his name. It's fun to say Devin Skillion.
You know he's in a band too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I don't remember. Do you know?
I don't know.
Papa Gaga. No, I'm just kidding. That's from before.
That would be a great band
called
name.
a callback.
Yeah.
Papa Gaga.
We should start a trio. Let's start a trio. You sing, Mike.
Go.
Who is a Detroiter whose name everybody should know?
Everybody should know. That is a great question.
Mike Green.
No.
But is there a comedian that everybody should know? That you think?
He's not a Detroiter, but he's a Michigander.
Who's that?
Steve Iott is one of my favorite comedians on the planet. He's so funny. We just had him at the club last weekend, and to me, there's nobody funnier. But nobody really, he's just a touring headliner.
All right, we'll check him out.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could create your own line of Detroit T-shirts, because everybody's doing it, what would the slogan be?
I already said it twice. Papa Gaga.
That's the thing. I see that every comedy show I go to now, too, is that every comedian's hawking a T-shirt with the slogan
well,
on it.
my shirt, I never made it, but I always wanted it to say that somebody's hit by a drunk driver every minute in this country. We better find out who this guy is.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, Mike Green, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been absolutely great to have you here.
Thank you for having
me.
really
So much
enjoyed
fun,
it.
yeah.
And again, you're performing all this weekend at One Night Stands, the brand new comedy club. Tell everybody where it is and how they can follow
it's
it.
on Highland Road, and we are below Studio 8 Fitness because we're a little tricky to find, but it's 4761 Highland Road. And our website where you could buy tickets is One Night Stands, STANS, comedyclub.com. And I'm there Thursday through Saturday, and it's 7 o'clock shows each night with an extra show on Saturday at 9:15. And then we also, on Sunday, we have a 6 o'clock show with Darren McCarty, the 4-time Stanley Cup champion, and and the Slapstick Comedy Tour, which I guess he brings like 4 or 5 comedians with him. He does a big meet and greet after. So all of that's available at One Night Stands, comedyclub.com. It's STANS. Because the owner's name is Stan.
Nice.
Perfect.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for stopping by. We loved having you on.
It was so much fun.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And that's it for us. So until Thursday, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.